Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the city of Roswell, Keep
Yes.
Roswell Beautiful,
Yes.
and many other
Lots of hats.
with the city of Roswell. Kathy Layback with us. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am good, thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, for folks that don't know, Kathy is taking over with the city, and she's Keep Roswell Beautiful coordinator.
Correct. That's correct.
That's one of the titles.
One
there,
of the
but
titles.
she
And
kinda,
then volunteer and outreach coordinator.
yeah, which
does a lot of different things.
Yeah, which all falls kind of under the same umbrella.
It's very
because
close.
If you think about it, a lot of Clean and Beautiful's mission statement involves getting volunteers involved.
Absolutely.
And being a part
Absolutely.
of the greater good for our community.
And that's what all of these roles that I kind of fill have to do with involving the community in making our community a better place to live.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that we all kind of working together and that we partnering in ways with the city's programming and with the city's opportunities to be able to open that door so people can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's our yard, our home.
Yes,
And the only way our home's going to be nice is if we take care of it.
absolutely.
And obviously the city does their parts and things.
Right.
But,
They're
but,
excellent servants.
but it takes the role of the community to get involved in all that.
Yes, it does.
We have a lot of great amenities and opportunities in the city, probably many more than other communities of this size.
I think so. I think we have really great ones.
And the reverse of that is the onus is on us to support them, to maintain them, to help them, to grow with them, and to make sure that they are here serving the needs of the community and
Absolutely.
not just being another drain on the community here.
Yeah,
So,
it just enhances and strengthens the program. It's like one of the things that Joe Nebb mentioned is like a vein of gold, that you have these resources in our community of people that have skill sets, or they have knowledge, or they have time and have a heart to serve. And so you mine those veins to get those resources
Sure.
connected with the opportunity to put that to good use.
absolutely.
And so I think that's a really great thing we're doing. We also, with one of the things as far as with Keep Roswell Beautiful, we partner together with different groups
Sure.
to do events and stuff. And that's like this first one is the next or the very next one that we're involved in. We just did the big cleanup with the Hispano Chamber. And I don't know if I came back. I don't remember if I told you after the fact, but we collected 860 pounds of trash that day.
Wow.
And that's a lot of trash to
And
get
what
off the
area
streets.
was that they pulled
They
it off
did
of?
some in the downtown. They did the Spring River Bike Trail.
Okay.
The downtown area, Pioneer Bank volunteers helped kind of hit that area a lot. Up and down the Spring River Bike Trail, we had Moon Rock Outfitters and Stellar Coffee had some volunteers. They were doing that one. We
Okay.
had the St. Peter's Catholic Church and St. John's Catholic Church volunteers did that neighborhood and that park that's over there by their church areas and stuff.
Okay.
We targeted several, and then just independent volunteers
That's great.
that showed up. And so, it was
800
one-
pounds out of
and
that one day event.
McDonald's sent free burritos for me. You know how they always do your Friday
Sure,
stuff? You know?
yeah,
They
very-
actually donated free burritos
That's
for that.
awesome.
It was really sweet. But yeah, we just met together, gave them cleanup supplies. They picked their target areas. They went out, cleaned up, brought the trash back, put it in a great big dumpster that the solid waste department dropped off that morning and picked up that same day.
Wow.
So it was only our trash. And then they waited. And we had 860 pounds of trash that Keep Roswell Beautiful and Hispano Chamber worked together to get
That's
off our streets.
great that those folks
Isn't that awesome?
work together to get all that up.
Yeah.
It's a little sad that they've had that much trash, but
Imagine.
imagine, and that's
Yeah.
just it. We would love to put these kind of projects out of business.
Absolutely, where
And-
people just threw in the trash in the first place.
Yeah.
And they have free dump days. With your water bill, as long as it's not delinquent,
Sure.
you take your water bill out there once a month. You can take and haul off all your trash for free.
Yeah.
So if you're planning on doing cleaning out a
Yeah.
room,
For
or-
residential folks, it's completely free. Yeah.
you can actually take your trash. You don't have to throw it if you've got like dump. We're working on an illegal dump campaign that we're getting ready to kick off. They give opportunities that make it where just, if you live in the community, you can get that taken care of at no
Sure.
cost to you.
And then you can get free stuff back. Like if you need mulch and things like that.
yeah, they got free
they
mulch
do
out
all
there.
that all the time.
The chipping of the branches.
yeah,
and
the
stuff.
chipping of the.
You're
know,
right.
like,
That's true too.
That's so it's a give and take. So if you
Yeah.
need that kind of stuff for your own gardens and
Yeah,
stuff,
absolutely.
don't go and spend a bunch of money on that. Go get free mulch done at the landfill.
Reclaiming.
Yeah.
And it's lots of opportunities too. We're going to be talking about that later on and kicking off later this year about some of the opportunities of ways that you can repurpose things. And this is like with our recycle project. That's funny because we were just talking about that And I just came right back around to it, circle back around, didn't even mean to. But like with the recycled art, we've got these really fun projects. The Roswell Museum and Art Center does Second Saturdays, which is an event that they do every second Saturday
Yeah,
for
and
families.
it's a free event, if I
It's a
remember
free
right.
event,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's Saturday, November the 13th is our next one that
Okay.
we're working.
So not this weekend, but next weekend.
Weekend. Keep Roswell Beautiful is working together in helping to provide supplies and just some fun samples. Nancy Fleming will be leading the kind of the event and kind of coordinating the as far as kind of like being in charge of communicating and kind of guiding, instructing and stuff. It starts at 10 a.m.
Okay.
November the 13th. It goes from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They also said there's a free planetarium show that day at 11 o'clock, too.
Nice.
So bring the family out to the Roswell Museum and Art Center. It's down there about 9th and Main.
Yeah.
Is that the RMAC is right there.
Just north of the real downtown area.
Yeah, it's next door to the Civic Center,
Yeah.
Convention Center. You'll see the big billboard. It's right there beside, just north of it.
Like we were joking earlier, because I was talking with the folks from Carabelli Dental in the 7 o'clock. There's Sonic, Carabelli, then the Convention and Civic Center, and the museum's right on the other side.
Yes, it is. And so you show up there. Keep Roswell Beautiful got grant funding that we bought several $100s worth of craft supplies that are real unique. The Roswell Museum and Art Center already has some craft supplies, paints and brushes and glue guns and glue. And we put all this together to make a really cool assortment of supplies. You bring trash. Like I've got my pictures here for some of the samples that you can look at.
Cool.
It's really fun. These are boxes that you can make a little maze out of.
Okay.
You can do, I'll turn them towards
Little
where's the
toys
camera,
and-
go that
yeah.
way. Yeah, a fun game that you can play, little instruments.
Looks like some banjos there.
Yep,
Yeah.
little instruments that you can take your egg cartons and make really cute flowers.
Oh, nice.
I've made a bunch of these samples. You can make a phone charger holder that you put next to the plug when it does that. I made some of these. You take pop bottles or water bottles.
Oh, yeah.
And you make really cool lights that you can put those LED candles in.
Oh, yeah.
And we bought the LED candles already. So we've got the LED candles, the fake flowers, the paint. You just bring an empty bottle.
Nice.
And you can make really cute. They look like little fairy houses.
Yeah.
They're adorable. Little pencil holders or item holders out of pop bottles or clear bottles or whatever kind of bottle you want, plastic bottles.
Sure.
And we bought the zippers. So the zippers are there and the glue is there. All you need is empty bottles.
Nice.
And then like a little traveling tic-tac-toe set. You can bring a Ziploc baggie to put it in, and you can bring your little water bottle lids.
You keep
or
those
milk.
like in
Keep it in the car.
in those little pockets in the back seat of the car.
Yep.
You keep them in there. Yeah.
Yep. And kids can pull that out and play tic-tac-toe, little pretend binoculars out of toilet paper or little tubes that they do there, little flowers out of the bottom of the water bottles and stuff. So we've got a bunch of ideas. And then Nancy Fleming is going to be making, I think, some other ideas and stuff. There's lots of ideas. We've got everything you need except the empty bottles, the empty boxes, the old popsicle. We got popsicle sticks, but like if you have a bunch of straws from where you've been to places and stuff, you can take those plastic straws and use them to make the maze. We've got the little balls that you use, the little marbles to run through them. We've got some empty boxes, but bring your trash stuff that you would normally throw away. And there's a bunch of ideas that can inspire your kids and your family, and even for yourself. It's fun crafting, and fun making art out of this stuff. So that's going to be our recycled art project. That's November the 13th at 10 a.m. at the RMAC.
Very good. And it's completely free.
Completely free. So that's one of the projects that's coming up.
I kind of miss like when I was in school, we used to do a lot of that kind of stuff. Like I remember around Christmas time getting like old Reader's Digests and making the angels.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you'd fold
and fold
and the book, and then they make an angel out of it.
Yes, I did that too.
I remember doing like where you take collages and making out magazines and making Christmas ornaments.
Yes,
and you could
over a ball, like
glue
a-
it. Yeah. I remember doing all.
Yes, I do.
And it's all the same recycled art, same kind of concepts that we did
you
as kids.
used what you got.
We didn't call it recycled art then.
No.
We just said, hey, it takes the old milk carton from the house.
Everybody
and do
bring
this.
your this from home, and we're going to make this and that.
Yeah,
and they show you.
I feel like we've kind of gotten away from that, and we
I
need to
don't
get
know.
more into
It's
that.
fun.
I think.
But this is what this is about.
Sure.
It's to inspire and have fun and make some stuff.
Well, that's what makes the creative stuff for kids.
Yes, it does.
Like when we were kids, you never like just for instance, we play like our G.I. Joe toys and things, and you didn't have all the stuff. So you built little things
I
out
used
of
boxes.
toilet paper things
Yes.
out of this to that, or a sneaker becomes a
Yes.
something or
Car.
another. Yeah.
You stick them in them and you drive it.
Yeah, and you know,
Shoebox, I turned it into cars, and I
Yeah.
put little lids on the side for the wheels, and
Yeah.
cut the top out, and I made a Barbie car. Yeah,
Yeah.
all that fun stuff.
I mean, that was like when we were kids, and I think you know, the technology's kind of almost gotten us away from that a little
well, it can
bit.
kill creativity
Yeah.
sometimes if you have everything is already made, and
Yeah.
it takes any opportunity for you to
Sure.
create something.
You don't have to see a sailboat there, but you know, because you got a sailboat.
Right.
Us and like, no, that sneaker with a Kleenex hanging off the back's a sailboat. You
Yes,
know, and
exactly.
you gotta see it. You know, and that's
Well, this comes up with something that by the time you're done, it looks like it.
but that's the beauty of
Yes.
and I love these projects
I
because
love
it
it.
forces kids, or it just causes kids to kind of think outside the box
Yeah,
and pretend,
absolutely.
and that part of the brain is so much there for kids, and I
Yes,
think we need
we're
to
going to nurture it.
nurture it and enhance it,
Absolutely.
because that's the same skill set when they're in adults that creates
Yes.
the great widget or the great
Well, yeah.
thing that we all need to have that we didn't know that we need to have.
Helps us
and-
be good problem solvers,
Yeah,
and helps us
exactly.
be good creative thinkers for our
Yeah.
lives in other
So
ways.
when they
and
figure out
facets.
how to make an electric car that goes 1,000 miles an hour, and you know,
Listen, that's a little scary
Yeah.
sounding.
it runs forever and all this other
I
stuff.
love it. Solar.
That's going to be, you know, these are the kids that are going to create that, and it starts because they were making recycled art projects at the museum.
It sure
you know?
can.
That's
And it keeps stuff out of the landfill.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps stuff. It like saves our resources
Mm-hmm.
so that we don't keep consuming those resources and then just throwing them away.
Yeah.
And so that's the trying to get that empowerment for kids to understand that and to start wanting to do that on their own at home. So that's what we're doing with
Absolutely.
that. And that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I was going to talk about with Keep Roswell Beautiful.
so again, put down on your calendars November 13th.
November 13th,
which
second
is
Saturday.
next Saturday.
Yeah,
not
just
this
look on
Saturday.
the calendar if you forget the date.
Yeah.
Second Saturday.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
always the second Saturday
10
of the month.
a.m., second Saturday, RMAC.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. One of the things I was going to mention is in my role, there's a couple of things that we would like to kind of throw out there to start getting the word out for people to know. I work with volunteers and I work with sponsorships.
Yeah.
In the animal services, we get so many animals that, especially when it starts getting winter, it starts getting cold and stuff, they need to get those animals into homes, get them off the streets, get them into a safe place. One of the things that keeps them sometimes from being adopted is people can't afford to pay for the spay, neutering, vaccines, and the microchipping.
It can be pricey.
It can be pricey.
If you don't have
But
assistance
they may
sometimes.
want to adopt an animal. So we're working on starting up a sponsorship program for someone who would like to donate to help pay for one animal's spay or neuters,
Okay.
and to have that as a resource when the staff there notices somebody who comes in that really would be a great fit for an animal, for a home,
Sure.
but they are struggling, that they may be able to do a partial sponsorship to help pay for part of that,
Okay.
or to help pay for all of that.
Like a voucher or something.
Like a voucher or
Yeah.
something. And then they pay the adoption. The adoption fee, I just called and checked, and I said, what is the adoption fee for an animal at the animal shelter? It's $1.
Okay.
You know, and so
Yeah, the biggest
that-
costs are spay and
Spay,
neutering,
neuter,
and then getting it chipped,
getting
microchipped.
it chipped and
Yeah.
vaccine so
Yeah.
that your animal stays safe, and it doesn't make more animals to be lost on the street.
Exactly.
And it doesn't get sick and die within the first short time that you have it.
Yeah, this is all for a good reason.
It's
why it's
all
done this
for
way.
necessary reasons. And you need to be willing to invest in caring for that animal. I know that. But some people who would be able to handle the food and the emergency services, perhaps, they may really be struggling, especially at this time of year with Christmas and holidays and food that you have to do
Yep.
for Thanksgiving and trying to take care of things. That is something that we're looking into trying to start up.
Okay.
And so if you're interested in being a sponsor to donate for that program, call me.
Great.
You know, or check with me. You can call the City Hall and ask for Kathy Lay. So
excellent.
we're trying to get those sponsors hooked up.
Okay. Yeah, they could use help in animal services
All kinds of
there.
things. The
Even next
zoo.
door to the Humane Society,
Yep.
if you're into animals.
Absolutely.
And those two entities partner
Absolutely.
hand in hand
Absolutely.
to work with each other because they both have the same
They
mission. They're
both, and
finding-
they'll come over and sometimes get some of the animals and move them over to
Yeah.
try to, they expand
help
that
each
service.
other out,
They
yeah.
help each other out.
Because and I think
Absolutely.
you said this last time when we said this, but the people in animal services, your dog catchers, and all, they're animal lovers
They
too.
have animals themselves.
Yeah,
I ask them personally.
They're pet people.
And I know it's really hard, and I know sometimes people have a misconception
Yeah.
about them, or there can be things that people say that come out that's not accurate.
Sure.
But I met them, and they all have animals at home, and they really want to help get those animals off the street and get them help.
And unfortunately, they come across a lot of people, and most of their day really is dealing with people that aren't good pet owners.
That's possibly,
they don't deal with these are people that didn't realize all the responsibility involved, and either A, can't, or B, won't do those.
Yes.
And then unfortunately what happens
have
is
to get those
animal
animals into a
services
safe
have
place.
to take over these situations.
Correct.
So generally speaking, the people that they deal with are probably people that were not treating animals correctly to begin with, and they have a different opinion of them.
Yes. And you said this last time I was here, and I think it's a really good reminder. Don't buy animals for Christmas for someone who does not already know, and they want that animal.
Yeah.
They're living creatures. They are not a toy.
Yeah.
And once they grow up, they end up getting stuck out back with no bedding in dog houses on a chain and forgotten that they're even there sometimes.
Absolutely.
And so make sure that if you are going to be getting an animal as a gift for Christmas or a gift for a loved one, that is something they're aware of, they want, or that you're the mama and you're going to take care of it, or you're the daddy, and you're going to take care of it for your child, and you're going to be responsible. That it's not just a learning tool for a child; it's great learning
but
for
they're going to mess up.
But you need to make sure that you're going to make that animal's going to have a good home.
Yeah, there's going to be days where the kid doesn't feed it, the kid doesn't take them out, and there's going to be a problem with that. And then guess what? You're the person, because you're the adult.
That's
you're
it.
going to be responsible for making sure that gets done. And as long as you're willing to know
that going into it.
As long as you know that your kid is going to mess this up sometimes, and you've got to be the one, because it's still a living thing that needs
living
to be,
creature
that needs love and support and everything else. And
Absolutely.
to be honest, what generally happens in those things, the dog's the family dog. Yeah,
and
maybe
that's fine.
the onus is on the child to make sure there's food in the bowl and make sure the poop's cleaned up in the backyard and everything. But it really is a family dog, and all are interacting. All
that's
are
right.
Part of the
you're
raising
taking
of that animal.
responsibility with that gift if you do it. So just be really aware of that.
Yeah.
The other thing that we need really badly, Mike, right now is the volunteer and outreach part of it, the volunteer part of it in the recreation department. They are getting ready to kick off their basketball, or they're in the process. I think maybe it's already started with the basketball season and such. And with those teams, they've got a bunch of teams. They still can use coaches, but what they desperately need is referees.
Officials. Okay.
Officials for those games.
Okay.
And it's nominal amount, but they do pay.
Well, these are younger kids.
But they do pay for the refs. They get a small amount of money for doing the refereeing.
So you get a few extra bucks.
Yeah, I think
you're not going to get rich doing it.
Yeah, I think it's like $10 a game or something. It's not very much, but it's something.
Yeah.
But they need referees. If you're interested in doing referee, please call the aquatic center.
Basketball.
For some of the sports.
Okay.
And basketball is where they're in right now.
Gotcha.
But they always need officials. If you know about rules for basketball and you want to help those youth and you'd be willing to do some refereeing, please call the aquatic center and tell them, I want to talk to somebody about being a referee for their programs for the basketball.
Good deal.
Get a hold of the aquatic center. The other thing that they really are looking into is there's a lot of people that have great skills that they could teach classes at the Erect Center.
Sure.
Maybe they could do some CrossFit training or some yoga or some different kinds of creative programming.
Yeah.
They need teachers for those programs, and they need ideas for that. They've got forms online on the rec department page on the website for the city of Roswell. They also have paper forms right there at the aquatic center when you go in that main desk. If you think a class would be really cool to take, please, please, please let them know.
Sure.
And if you know somebody who can teach it or you can teach it yourself, please, please volunteer. And also, that's another one that pays a minor amount. It's a small amount.
Sure.
But they will pay for teachers for those classes.
Well, I would imagine if you're like an exercise instructor or someone like that, and you're looking to get your name and get your experience and foot in the door, this might be an opportunity to kind of
jazzercise,
get your name out there a little bit and build a clientele through this opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be great. And it could be all kinds of things that they need. There's sometimes it's like we don't think outside the box, but other people, we have such creative people in our community.
Sure.
And so some of those ideas that people come up with for classes or programs,
well,
it's really great.
And we live in a world where there's a lot of great trendy things that you can kind of.
It's fun.
And I get, and this could use this opportunity as a chance to, and I'm talking like the fun stuff that's beneficial. Like you hear the weird funny things like goat yoga and
Oh, yeah.
things like that.
Yes.
But
Or
this is like,
cat stuff or
but I think
baby
this
and
is an
me.
opportunity for some of that kind of stuff
It
and
could
some of
be
those
out of the
things that
box
that
stuff.
are a little out of the box. Because let's face it, you hear an exercise class, there's only so many ways to exercise. You know what I mean?
You think.
And there's no, but that's what I'm saying. There's so many unique, different ways to
Then
do
somebody
it.
comes up with something that blows your mind and it goes
Exactly.
wild and people love it and you get
Yeah.
all these people show up. We want to provide services the city is all about serving
Sure.
our community.
Now you might
They
want to check
service.
about bringing goats in there.
No,
but,
you
but
need
I'm
to,
saying,
you need to check with, but give them the
that
idea.
kind of idea, yeah, that's
Start
something.
throwing some ideas
yeah.
at them. They're getting ready to bring on a new director for the rec department. It's really cool. And they've got people that have been there for years that are wonderful people, but they're opening it up and they're saying, hey, give us ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're willing to teach something, let us know. You may have a
Sure.
perfect fit for you. So contact the Aquatic Center. And if you have ideas for programming, classes, that's what that means, classes.
Sure.
And training or teaching or regular class that you go to every week or every month. If you know something or have an idea or you can teach it, call them. If you can be a referee, call them. And if you're interested in being a coach for a team,
Yeah.
we've got a volunteer application online. Let us know. We'll get you hooked up with that too. Because
Excellent.
those are opportunities in our rec department.
If you go to the Roswell Connect website, do they have information there about some of this, or
yeah,
is that
the
mostly?
Roswell. If you go to the Roswell.gov, it's Roswell-nm.gov.
Okay, the actual city
The
government
actual city,
website.
and you look under the city and look under the residents and stuff.
You can see the job
find the
openings
rec
there.
department.
Okay.
But the easiest way to get hooked up with what you're interested in is you can call me, Kathy Lay. I can get you hooked up with that. But also call the Aquatic Center and tell them, I want to talk to somebody about being a coach, about being a rep, about my ideas for classes, or I can teach a class.
Okay.
So the Aquatic Center, if you go Roswell, New Mexico, don't go Georgia. Roswell, New Mexico.
Unless you're curious what's going on there.
Listen, I've gotten volunteer applications on the online volunteer application from Roswell, Georgia.
Yeah.
And I had to let them know, I'm sorry, but I don't think you want to commute.
That's a heck of a commute.
Are you moving?
We'd love to have you,
I
but
would love to have you volunteer.
you might want to start
I
making
know,
your way
it's
now.
hilarious. But anyway, so those are two things that I would love to talk about that I wanted to make sure you guys know about. The
Yeah.
only other thing that I was going to mention, let's see, I don't want to monopolize your time real fast, maybe just a couple minutes.
Sure.
Okay. Another thing that I'm doing is in doing the different programming and stuff that I do, I've gone around and been meeting when I was talking about sponsorship, right? And talking about opportunities in each of these departments, meeting these different department groups and seeing what they do. Like, for example, the cemetery, 32,000 graves, the parks, 26 parks, hundreds of acres. There's so much stuff that we have. The Roswell Animal Services went over and met those people. The Aquatic Center, my office was there for a while. I got to know these people. The people out at that do the streets, they fill these puddles. All right, it's getting cold. They still got to take care of our stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
The parks, you think there's not much to do in the winter. Yeah, there's a lot to do in the winter
there's
too.
a whole lot to do,
The
yeah.
zoo, they got to go out there every day and feed those animals. I don't care what the temperature is. They got to take care of them.
Or the holidays or anything else. Yeah.
Make sure the lights all work on all of our downtown stuff. There's these people service every day.
The
And as
city
I've
never
met them-
sleeps. It never
No,
does. And
they
there's people
have to take care of
24/7 taking care of
water,
things.
the
Yeah.
solid waste, all these people. They're up at like 3:00 in the morning, coming in and picking up our trash up and down. They drive them. They have to get to work early because they're on the route early. As I've met them and see their heart to serve, one of the things I've kind of come up with is doing an appreciation project that I do. It's not on a set schedule, but I try to hit at least one department every month. And I started throwing out there about this, and people started volunteering to buy goodies like Albertsons Market or Excel Energy. McDonald's has. If you would like to sponsor a goodie delivery, please call me. I'm looking for sponsors that want to say thank you to these people.
Oh, cool.
What they do is like the Albertsons Market gave me like goodies like cookies or donuts or Imagine That gave me little thank you bags with all kinds of little
nice.
goodies inside. And we did
Okay.
the finance department. And what I do is I will go pick it up. If you want to donate something for one of these departments, I can tell you how many people are in that department. We got some departments that are small, some departments that are big. We have over 600 employees in the city divided up all over the city of Roswell. We'll pick a department, I will come pick it up for you and take it with a thank you note and deliver it to that person. And then we post about it on Facebook. If you go to the City of Roswell Facebook page, you can scroll down and see some of the past deliveries.
Okay.
We just did one for the Animal Services recently.
Okay.
If you go to the Animal Services Facebook page and you'll see the one that we just did recently from Albertsons
Nice.
Market. And I love doing that because it lets them know they're seen.
Sure.
It makes them serve with a heart that they understand somebody cares about and appreciates what I'm doing, and they notice me. Main Street Roswell, people, my board was always telling me, thank you so much. You're doing such a good job. Thank you. Thank you. I always felt so appreciated. In the city now, I get thanks from people. Oh, thanks. That was a great job. That was so wonderful. You were out there doing. And it makes me do it with so much more enthusiasm.
Sure.
And it makes me feel like my job is noticed, appreciated.
And
I don't need
beneficial.
public attention, but just those little, that really meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me, and I know it does to them. When I take these deliveries in, their faces light up. And can't tell you, every department I've been to, they say, nobody's ever said thank you to me. They don't even know we're here. And it means something when they realize they're served. We love our police department. We love our fire department. Those people get recognition. But some of these hidden away, the next one I'm hoping to hit is the water treatment and maintenance. It's this little house that's got all these guys that go out and they take care of all this water stuff. They're out there in all this weather working, and they come back to this little office and stuff. People don't even know they exist.
Right.
If they just turn on their water and it works.
Well, that's just it. They're all doing their jobs, and that's why we don't know they're there.
We don't
the
even
moment
notice.
one of these people are gone, we're going to notice real quick.
So I love doing this project. I call it my appreciation project. Did you know that if you go to one of the city workers and you say, hey, I'm going to give you this, do you know they're required to say no?
Really?
Because it can be considered a bribe.
Oh, okay.
And so they can't themselves accept things from individuals. But when I get a delivery that's for a department like this, and we track this delivery, it's just goodies. They're not expecting anything in return. We say thank you because that's polite, right?
Yeah.
We say thank you on our Facebook page. We're going to do that. But they're not doing it in exchange for something or to try to get favoritism for
good
something.
government isn't costing a thing of donuts.
No.
A good government is going to happen
It's
regardless.
a way of saying thank you. And so we can do it in a legal way that doesn't set somebody up for any kind of question.
Strings or attachments.
No strings attached.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's wonderful because those people's faces, and they work with a renewed vigor and heart. And I think it helps us to be aware of those departments.
Absolutely.
So I love doing my appreciation project.
Yeah.
If you want to join it, call me. Let me know. I'm at City Hall.
The whole public works side of the city, those are all unsung heroes that they're like, again, they're like offensive linemen in football. You never hear about them until they do something wrong happens.
Right. And that
you
happens sometimes. You sometimes get an employee that's not a great employee that happens in any job.
Well, and then maintenance happens.
Company.
The pipes burst.
And
nobody
then
can
that
control
happens
that.
with stuff. Absolutely.
And these folks come in at 2 a.m.
Right. And those are your workers.
100 degrees, 20 degrees, whatever it is.
That's
they're
right.
in there doing
Got to fix it.
Yep.
There is no option. They are out there. And I just love saying thank you.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of different. I'm way over here, way over here. You can see how many hats, and I'm like, juggling, and it's like I'm having fun.
And the public works side, I mean, because we're in a transition side too. Over the last, in case you haven't noticed, there was infrastructure about 75. It's probably close to 80 years now, 80, 90 years. But they put these pipes all through New Mexico, and the shelf life is just gone on them. So we're seeing it statewide where cities and municipalities are upgrading to more modern, more long-lasting pipes and things, and the city's been doing it for at least 5 years now.
Yeah.
And so when you see these major projects, 9 times out of 10 they're killing two birds of what they're doing. They're saying, hey, we've got a need for a road here. While we're at it, we'll go ahead and dig it up and put our pipes in and get all that.
Replace
our pipes. And so they've been doing that for the last few years now, and now they're getting close to finishing that. But that's something that's probably unique to this era of public works figures because. And ideally, I'm guessing what they're doing now, somebody won't have to fix for another 75 or 100 years.
Yes.
But that's kind of it's just the way the world is right now. And Artesia, Albuquerque, every municipality in the state's been kind of dealing with the same. And you've seen some of it in the news and things.
Properties and buildings and pipes and different things like that. We're having to try to get things brought up to where it needs to be.
Sure. Yeah.
So it won't keep
we're
breaking.
kind of seeing an infrastructure upgrade time
Yes.
too, and things, and it's
And
a unique
these people
time.
are the ones that are doing a lot
Sure.
of it.
And to be honest, internet, that whole thing's going to be the next. I would not be surprised if sometime in our lifetime we're going to be buying internet like the same way we buy power and water. It'll be a utility.
Well, we
and
kind of,
something.
I guess, in some ways we do with
Yeah.
our
But I think it'll be more
internet
official, and
services,
I'm guessing the
more
government will
timed in
get more
some way.
involved in the regulations of
Yeah,
how that
I don't
is.
know. I don't know. It's not my favorite top. That I'm not crazy about the idea about that.
Who
but
knows?
Who knows?
30 years from now, it could be the city doing the internet just like they're doing the water. I mean, who
True,
never
that's
knows?
true.
It
You
could
don't
be,
know.
It
No.
could be a service, or it might be more like the telephone company, where
That's true. You choose.
it's more subsidized by the government. Private companies do it, but they get government subsidies and things to make sure things happen.
It's definitely become such a part of our life. I always laugh and tell my daughter, it's like the stuff that I was a kid seeing on Star Trek, the old Star Trek, when they would literally see each other's face and talk across distance, and when they would have the capacity to hold computers in their hands and scanners in their hands and all that. We have everything except warp drive, space travel, and teleporters. And I was like, those two I'm waiting on.
And who
want
knows? I bet we're
teleporters.
close to teleporters.
Oh,
I bet they're already. I think they're actually close on that one.
Oh my gosh!
I think
Wouldn't that be fun?
I think they're starting to move things that aren't live yet. Like I think they. Like I'm
Objects?
serious. I think I remember
Oh my
reading
gosh,
where
that's so
they're in
exciting.
that world of. I mean, it's not close.
I know.
It might be that
Living
stage
creatures
where,
are not the same.
But where it's like they send a piece of cheese and it's kind of jacked up on the other side right now. But I mean,
Melted.
They're making there's headway
They're
going in
playing
that.
with it?
Yeah, who knows?
Oh,
Maybe
my
before we
gosh.
leave this earth, there will be something like that. Who knows?
I remember taking a cardboard box. Talk about imagination.
Yeah.
Talk about recycle stuff. I took a cardboard box and broken radio stuff and threw it inside and pretended I made a computer because I'd heard about computer. This was before we had home computers.
Right, yeah.
I'm not a young spring chicken. Okay, I've been around.
She's been 25 for a couple years.
No, I've been 25 for a long time. I'm what they call, like my BTS guys, they call them dope old people. I'm a dope old
There
people
you
and
go.
proud,
Nice.
But listen, I had this box and I threw all the guts in it and pretended it was a robot, right? I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
And now we have them. It's
I
amazing.
did more things with cardboard boxes as a
I know,
kid.
I know.
And don't get me started on my DJ time with the Radio Shack mic
Oh,
and the
did you
tape
do
deck.
that?
Oh yeah, I'm a guy on the
How
radio. I did that
cute.
as a kid. I had all kind of radio shows.
Oh
and
my gosh, I bet
talking
that's
up records
adorable.
and competing against Casey Kasem and all
Oh,
that.
cute.
Yeah. Wolfman
That's so
Jack.
cute.
Oh, yeah,
I
did all
remember
that
all
stuff.
those. How
Yep,
fun. Mike.
absolutely.
And now you are.
Yeah, somebody had found time to pay me for doing this. So, if you have any questions about anything,
Call me.
Call Kathy.
City Hall.
Yeah, call her at City Hall. Do you have a direct line or just call the city
I do
line
have
number?
the direct line. It's
Okay.
575-500-0395.
Very good.
500-0395.
And of course, Roswell-nm.gov is a great resource for everything
Yes.
sim related.
Yes.
RoswellConnect.com if you want to get like passes through the for the aquatic center, recreation center, order tickets like when they were doing Night of the Living Zoo this past weekend.
Yes.
That's the website for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you've got questions about aquatic center, recreation center, about their programs,
Yeah.
Roswell Connect's the best way to go and find
Wonderful.
information about
Wonderful.
that.
That's
Good
great.
deal.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, thank you as always. We'll see you next time here, and
Probably December.
enjoy your confiscated Halloween candy. I know you confiscated a bar or two.
I like fruit.
They put fruit in candy sometimes.
Okay.
Coconuts, is that technically a fruit?
I don't know. It's a nut.
It comes off
I'm
a
kidding,
tree.
I'm kidding.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is. I'll have to look it up.
I'll have to look too. Now I'm curious. But otherwise, now I'm eating salads if that's the true. I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm eating coconuts, a salad. 9:53.